Hi there, friends. Good morning, and thanks so much for joining us here on this Monday morning. I'm Channing Curtis. Let's go ahead and get you ready for the day ahead with meteorologist Thomas Patrick, who is telling us about cooler temps and even snow that is on the way. I say so begrudgingly. Can you tell?
Yeah, we have to keep each other separate for this week. But don't worry, Channing. I know that you like snow before Christmas.
I
It's just
do.
after Christmas is when maybe we're not the biggest fans of it. But we are looking at what is likely going to be our first real snowfall of the season, and not just in the mountains either, though the mountains will get by far the most of it, with winter storm watches now in effect for the northern Cascades and portions of Okanagan and Fairy counties. Not quite that alert at our lower elevations, and it won't be here quite today. Instead, this morning, a little bit of patchy fog at 39 degrees in Spokane, and still got one more lingering day of warmth, right around 60 degrees or upper 50s for high temperatures. But tomorrow and the rest of the week, a whole lot colder, and yes, we are expecting low elevation snowfall by this Wednesday.
Well, we are just 15 days away from the November 7th election in Washington and Idaho. Early voting starts in just a few hours, actually, for most counties across Idaho. Early voting begins today and will run through November 3rd. Voters can cast their ballots at their local county courthouse from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. Election day, again, is on November 7th, and the polls on that day are open from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. In Idaho, you can register to vote at the polls. Just bring your current photo ID and proof of residence. And if you need an absentee ballot, you have until October 27th to request one. Now, with Election Day a little over 2 weeks away, Spokane voters will soon have their say on camping limitations within the city. So this morning, KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones is joining us from Brown's Edition. So Brandon, can you tell us more about this proposition and specifically what voters need to know?
Yes, good morning, Channing. Well, Proposition 1 will be on those ballots that are due November 7th, and ultimately, if it's passed, any camping within 1,000 feet of a school, a daycare, or parks like Brown's Edition, it will be completely banned. So it would have a drastic impact here in Spokane. And to measure just how much things could change, geoscience professor Robert Souders from Eastern Washington University created a new interactive map. The map shows which neighborhoods would be affected if the proposition is passed. Using state and local resources for data, the areas in color show where camping would be banned. According to the map, a camping ban would cover 65% of the city.
We as a city have often positioned our resources that are there to assist people who are experiencing homelessness. So trying to move people further away from those resources didn't exactly make sense to me.
So in his research, Souders discovered the ban covers most of the downtown area. Here in Brown's Edition, the new ordinance would prohibit camping entirely. And what the map doesn't show is the city's already established camping restrictions near rivers, railroads, and within 3 blocks of shelters. So again, Proposition 1 will be on those ballots that are due on November 7th. But for now, reporting live in Brown's Edition, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
Now, in just a few days, we're hosting a mayoral debate right here at KREM 2. Mayoral candidate Lisa Brown will face current mayor Nadine Woodward in a debate right here in our KREM 2 studios this Thursday. Our Mark Hanrahan and Whitney Ward will moderate the debate, and it will air uninterrupted on KREM 2 as well as our digital platforms between 7 and 8 p.m. as we get ready for the November election. And if you would like more information about the races, the candidates, propositions, or anything on the ballot in Spokane County, KREM 2 has you covered. Just text us the word VOTE to our number 509-448-2000, and we'll send you a link right to your phone with our comprehensive voter guide. On there, you'll find everything that you need to know before casting your ballot. Well, the Garland District's Blue Door Theater is now moving to a new home. The Improv Group will take over the old milk bottle building in downtown Spokane. Due to high demand, they plan to renovate the building to give them enough space to seat 90 people. The new building will also allow them to host additional improv classes. We spoke with one of the board members about why they made the move from the historic Garland District.
People are sad to see us leave, but they also understand. And I think that's also going to be part of the difference. We're still working on some plans, but to make the Blue Door a destination where they can also come in, get some food, get some desserts and things like that to kind of accommodate the fact that we're moving out of a space where there's, within 30 seconds you can get to many different restaurants.
The group plans to perform their first show in their new space on January 5th. In the meantime, over in Idaho, the push to take a large part of eastern Oregon and make it part of Idaho continues. Last Thursday, representatives from both Oregon and Idaho's legislatures met about the Greater Idaho movement. Supporters say some eastern Oregonians' political and ideological views would align better with the Gem states. During the meeting, Idaho Falls Representative Barbara Ehart talked about what it would take to make Greater Idaho a reality.
There's been a lot of reasons for borders to move, so borders can move. Now, this is unique in our time period. It would be a little bit larger move, but borders can move. So, but again, it is exactly what's been laid out. It needs to, I think the biggest hurdle is actually the two states and what they decide to do, meaning Idaho and Oregon.
Despite the Idaho House passing a Greater Idaho resolution in February, nothing has officially been passed in either state for the movement. It is 6:07 right now. Let's take a look at your morning rush. More news in less time. A man was shot and seriously injured outside of an East Central bar late on Friday night. According to SPD, the victim was shot near Bob and Dom's bar on East Sprague and was taken to a hospital. Right now, we don't know his condition, but we do know that police have not arrested any suspects. North Idaho is facing a serious shortage of mental and behavioral health providers for children. According to our news partners at the Coeur d'Alene Press, the two main barriers to care are cost and lack of healthcare providers. Most insurance companies won't reimburse for pediatric mental care, and even if a family can't afford the cost out of pocket, it takes months, sometimes even a year, to get in contact with someone. Healthcare officials in Kootenai County say the best way to get through the current crisis is to draw attention to the need. And today, more than 1,300 Peace Health workers in Southwest Washington plan to strike. Workers in the tech, service, and maintenance, along with lab professionals, plan to walk out starting at 6:30. Salary and staffing levels are the main issues. The union claims management refused to negotiate and canceled all bargaining sessions. And that's a look at your morning rush.
Well, it won't be quite as warm as it was from this past weekend. Still not a bad day today with one final day of lingering mild conditions. This morning, a bit of patchy fog, especially near the Deer Park area where we've seen some of the lowest visibility. Quarter-mile visibility in Deer Park and Bonners Ferry, 3/4-mile visibility in Coeur d'Alene. So a bit of patchy fog in some regions this morning. Despite that cloudy start, should have a sunnier finish to today with temperatures hovering in the upper 50s. But it will get a lot colder, almost severely colder later on in the week as we'll watch a storm system move in from the north and west and bring us that very likely chance for snow by Wednesday morning. We'll have the latest timing details on that storm system in just a few minutes.
At 6:09, let's take another look at our wake-up call this morning because today is National Horror Movie Day. So we want to know what your favorite scary movie is. We've gotten in a lot of texts so far this morning. Apparently, we have a lot of horror movie fans that are our viewers. One viewer is writing in saying that their favorite has to be Carrie, an oldie but a true classic. I couldn't more agree. Another person saying Phantasm still gives me nightmares. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. The Saw movies, those are absolutely terrifying. I know I think they just have a new one that just came out too. So text us your scary movie favorites, 509-448-2000, and join in on the conversation.